From AccuWeather.com, this is AccuWeather Daily, a brief host-read article. It's weather news in a nutshell. Well, after years of searching, a Pan Am flight that crashed into the water off Puerto Rico 74 years ago, killing 52 people, has been found. The Air Sea Heritage Foundation, working in partnership with the Discovery Channel's Expedition Unknown show, found the wreckage of the Pan Am Clipper Endeavour at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean off Puerto Rico's northern coast last month. The discovery, which involved an autonomous underwater drone, ends decades of mystery about precisely where the Douglas DC-4 aircraft came to rest after crashing into the ocean shortly after it took off from Puerto Rico on April 11, 1952, with 64 passengers and 5 crew members aboard. Although all passengers survived the initial impact, only 17 people would be rescued. The rest were lost when the plane quickly sank. At the time, investigators blamed a lack of pre-flight safety briefings, among other things, which spurred changes in the aviation industry. The search team, which also involved the Deep Sea Vision Company, used high-resolution sonar to locate the wreckage on the ocean floor about 2,000 feet below the surface in early June. By chance, a research vessel with one of the world's most leading-edge sonar systems had passed right through the team's narrowed search zone and agreed to stop for a couple of days to help with the search. Josh Gates, the host of Expedition Unknown, said that the vessel went down for about 30 hours, scanned the seafloor in the target area, came back to the surface, and there it was. The craft was broken into 2 sections. A follow-up photographic survey conclusively identified the plane, with images clearly showing the iconic winged Pan American logo and aircraft name still legible. Discovery Channel intends to cover the finding in an Expedition Unknown episode later on this year. There are no plans to recover the wreckage or disturb it in any way, with a spokesperson noting the site is a grave for those who died in the crash. The Air Sea Heritage Foundation is now working with the government of Puerto Rico to expand protections for the wreckage site and is advocating for a memorial honoring those lost in the crash. Families directly impacted by the tragedy and the crash's only 2 known living survivors have also been contacted. The plane, which was bound for New York, lost both right-side engines shortly after takeoff, forcing the pilot to conduct a violent water landing minutes later. The aircraft had life rafts and personal flotation devices for all aboard, but confusion ensued in part because no safety briefing was given, there was a language barrier, and no coordinated evacuation procedure was in place. The plane sank in less than 3 minutes. Though the U.S. Coast Guard and Air Force sprang into action to save 12 passengers and 5 crew members, the other 52 people aboard died. In a report on the crash, the Civil Aeronautics Board, a predecessor of today's Federal Aviation Administration, proposed amendments to the Civil Air Regulations to assure a greater degree of safety to the occupants of aircraft flying over water routes. Proposals that were implemented, including pre-flight briefings for passengers on where to find and how to use life vests, life rafts, and emergency exits. Eyewitness accounts of the tragedy indicated that the passengers refused to understand the gravity of their situation, despite what they were hearing from the crew. Gates said that every time you step on board an airplane today, you are safer because of what happened to Clipper Endeavour and her passengers 3/4 of a century ago. That's all for now. You can find regional forecasts and science-based articles at AccuWeather.com, and for your local forecast at your fingertips, download the AccuWeather app. Enjoy the rest of your day, stay weather aware, and I'll be back tomorrow with more from AccuWeather.